Praise the name of the living God, brothers and sisters. This morning I'm so grateful to stand before you or to come before you to share with you the word of God. Welcome to my channel, Vincent Kadima a YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, comment and share so that we may get to grow our community and help our community to know God in details. This morning I'm so privileged to come before you with a sermon of the word of God with the theme building trust. You know, trust is something that to build, or most of us we do just take this word trust very easy in our mouth, but the word trust carry a lot of heaviness. The word trust carry a lot of heaviness. When you understand the word trust in details, you will come to realize that it carries a lot of heaviness. And that is why this morning I have decided to come and share with you about building trust. One thing you need to understand about trust is that trust is not inherited. Trust, we build trust, we don't inherit trust. And I want us to learn to take an example from the Bible, the example of Joseph, and that is the example that we are going to use to go through this sermon up to where time or will allow us to get. It's a sermon. It is a very detailed sermon, a very long sermon, but I will just take few minutes so that we may see and we may get to learn about building trust. So I will take the blueprint of Joseph, that is the man we are going to use to learn or to know or to get to know about building trust, we as Christians and men in general. So our book of reference, we are going to read from the book of Genesis, chapter number 39 from verse 9, and the book of Genesis chapter 50 verse 20, in the book of Proverbs chapter number 3 verse 5 and 6. And brothers and sisters, I want us to start by maybe defining what is trust. I want us to know what is trust before we start our sermon. And I have come up with a definition with the word trust. Na I have written down na nikasema ya kwamba trust is believing someone is faithful even when you can't see the whole picture. Trusting or trust is believing someone is faithful. You believe in someone that is so faithful, that somebody is faithful even when you cannot see the whole picture of whom he is, or of what he or she is doing. It means that you have put all your trust upon that person, knowing that even if you are going to be there, even if you are not going to be there, you believe that the person whom you have trusted, whom you have taken to maybe to take care of something, you know, and you are very sure that without your presence, he or she is going to do what you have you wanted exactly. And that is how we define trust. That is believing in someone, that someone is faithful even when you cannot see the whole picture. We say I trust you to people, but the hardest trust to build is trust in God. To people, yes, we may say that I trust you. we normally use that word, I trust you. To our girlfriends and our boyfriends, we normally tell them, I trust you. To our spouses, I trust you. But the hardest thing in our life is trusting upon the Lord, or putting or building your trust in God when life doesn't make sense. You know, it reaches in life, the life that you are living, it reaches a time you found that things are not working. At all, things are not working the way maybe you have been expecting for them to work. It reaches a time life gets to be very harder. You expected that maybe it will reach a certain time in life when life will be very easier and cheap for you to afford. But you realize that the moment you grow, the moment ages, the moment you continue adding age at your life, you get to know that the life is getting harder and harder. So it needs a lot of effort from you to make sure that what you want or what you wish it to happen in your life or in future life succeed. And that is the time most of us men, we do lose our trust from God. And that is why we normally say to people that yes, we trust you, I trust you. We really like, or we really love to use this word, yes, I trust. But that is the hardest thing, the hardest trust to build is to build your trust in God when things seems not to work, or when life doesn't make sense anymore. And now Joseph's life is a masterclass life. Joseph lived a masterclass life. We all understand the people who have studied to the level of masters. You know that person akiwa anatembea akona heshima zake, he or she has his own respect. They have their own respect. When they go somewhere or to meet other people, they have their own respect. They are treated special. And that is the life Joseph lived. That Joseph lived a masterclass life, a masterclass in building trust. Joseph lived a masterclass in building trust in his life. We found that he went from being a favored son to the pit, to the slavery, to the false accusation, to the prison, and he ends up getting himself in the palace. That is the 13 years of delay. Imagine you living 13 good years of delay in your life, doing nothing, gaining nothing, but going through hard situations. You are living a life that is so miserable for 13 good years. When it was me, Joseph, mimi ningekuwa nisha give up na nimeachana na hiyo mambo, because I found things not working in my life the way I expected. Joseph maybe expected that the way I have been favored by my father, I'm going to continue with the same life until my old age. But it reaches a time when his own brother decided to betray him by killing a sheep, smearing a blood on his coat, and take him to a pit. The time they took him to the pit, they took also his coat back to the father, claiming that our brother has been eaten by wild animals. But in really sense, they had a plan, because they knew that this man is favored a lot, and we need to cut off this favor from him. And they decided to do what they did. So Joseph lived a masterclass life, whereby number one, he came from being a favored son to a pit latrine, or to a pit. From a pit, they sold him. He became a slavery to Potiphar in Egypt. by being slavery in Egypt, he was taken by Potiphar. The time he was taken by Potiphar and he was put in charge of everything in the house of Potiphar, we found that in that house, despite him being in charge of everything, he still faces false accusation from Potiphar's wife. And from that false accusation, Joseph decided to flee away and leave the second court. He lived now the second court in the hands of Potiphar's wife, and that became an evidence which made Joseph to be jailed and to be imprisoned. From being a prisoner, Joseph found himself in a palace. Praise the name of the living God. So 13 years of delay in the lives of Joseph, yet at every stage, we need to understand that at every stage, Joseph was building something invisible. From the stage of being a favored son, Joseph was building something invisible. In the stage of being in a pit, Joseph was still building something invisible. From the stage of being in a false accusation, Joseph still builds something invisible in his life. In the stage of being in prison, Joseph is still building something invisible in his life. And in the stage of being in a palace, still Joseph is building something invisible. And this something invisible that Joseph was building in his life was trust. He decided not to trust, to build his trust in men, but he decided he understand what he was doing. He understood very well what he was doing, and he decided, I'm going to build this something invisible to please God and not men. And that is why we found to see that Joseph was hated by his own brothers. They put him in a pit, taking him from a pit, sold him in slavery. From being in slavery, he's facing false accusation from the Potiphar's wife that he wanted to rape her. From being a false accusation, he's now taken to prison where he interpreted dreams. At last, he was not recognized. He was forgotten. From that prison, same prison, he came out. God remembered him now from something which he was building invisible. To God, it was visible. That trust, and God remembered him. And he took Joseph back to the palace. Praise the name of the living God. And now I want us to look the 3 stages of how Joseph built trust. 3 stages of how Joseph builds trust. Stage number 1. We learn that trust is built in private choices. Trust is built in private choices. When you read in the book of Genesis, chapter number 39, verse 9, the word says that, how then can I do this wickedness and sin against God? Joseph was alone in Potiphar's house. You need to know that Joseph was in charge of Potiphar's house. And in that house, he was him alone and Potiphar's wife, the 2 people. But Joseph remained steadfast on what he understood, on what the intention that he had. He remained focused. He knew that I have been placed into this house because of one reason. And the reason is to make sure that everything my boss has left behind, I know that he has trusted me with his property. And I need also to be faithful to my master. How many times we have been trusted by our bosses, we have been trusted by our parents, we have been trusted by our colleagues. and be assigned something to do, and we become faithful, we become something maybe they didn't expect. Instead of being faithful, we become unfaithful. Praise the name of the living God. It reaches a time you have been employed in a company whereby you are being paid well, but because of your gluttony, because of your greed, you decide to go on looting from the company. That is not the trust. Maybe your boss has trusted you and assigned you or employed you to that position where you are holding, but he has trusted you, and you need also to be faithful to that person, the way Joseph was faithful to his master Potiphar. He decided to choose trust upon greed. He decided to choose trust upon glutton. He trusted to choose trust upon everything, upon the flesh, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes. Joseph stood still and chose trust and to remain faithful to his boss Potiphar. Praise the name of the living God. So Joseph was alone in Potiphar's house. There was no family, there was no pastors, there was no accountability group, but Potiphar's wife offered comfort, status, and escape from being a slave. And now, because all this happened, but Joseph's trust was not in Potiphar. You remember what I have told you, that Joseph knew what he was doing in Potiphar's house. He knew that Potiphar trusted him, and that is why he was given to be in charge of his house. But Joseph himself, he chose to remain faithful to Potiphar, but he chose to build trust to God. Praise the name of the living God. And that is why Joseph's trust was not built or was not in Potiphar, but it was in God. He decided to build his trust in God. So he said no. He said no. The time Potiphar's wife tried to accuse him or to make him lie with him to bed, Joseph decided to say no, a bold no. He decided to say no because he believed God was watching even when no one else was watching him. Praise the name of the living God. How many of us, ingekuwa ya kwamba sasa ni wewe Joseph, ungefanya vile Joseph alifanya? Because I know and understand ya kwamba sisi saizi ni watu ambao inafika mahali mpaka we are being driven by the lust of eyes, we are being driven by the lust of our flesh, we are being driven with small things instead of remaining faithful to God, building our trust in God. Praise the name of the living God. We want, yes, to build trust in men, whereby, yes, you are building that trust in that man to please him or her, but to God you have not built that trust. When God sees in your heart, when God watches over you, He's just seeing dirty everywhere. Praise the name of the living God. So you don't build trust in the palace. You don't build trust in the palace. Remember, Joseph was assigned in a palace, but he did not build trust or his trust in that palace. He did not build his trust to Potiphar. And that is why I'm telling you that you don't build trust in the palace, but you build trust in the bedroom. You build trust in boardrooms. You build trust in browser tabs where no one sees. When you are holding your phone, when you are alone on your closet, what are you watching that phone? What are you doing with that phone? When you are in your bedroom, what are you doing in that bedroom? What are you doing in that bedroom? When you are in a boardroom, what are you discussing with fellow members in that boardroom, what are you planning to do with your colleagues in that boardroom? That is the crucial places we need to build. We need to start building our trust to God. When you will find yourself doing what is right and correct, when you are alone in your closet, that is the time you will start building trust in God. Praise the name of the living God. So trust is integrity when it costs you something. When trust costs you something, we call it integrity. Praise the name of the living God. So Joseph lost his job and his freedom in Potiphar's house that day, but he gained a testimony that Pharaoh will trust years later. Praise the name of the living God. Yes, he decided to lose his job and his freedom by fleeing away from the hands of Potiphar's wife. He was arrested and taken to jail, but Joseph wrote a testimony that left Pharaoh to remember today. Praise the name of the living God. Stage number 2. Trust is built in painful season. Praise the name of the living God. I know this is where most of the people reaches na wanabeba juu mikono, wanasema ya kwamba hata iwe nini, wacha ikae. I cannot continue doing this, and yet I'm still suffering, and yet I'm still going through pain. Praise the name of the living God. Trust is built in painful seasons. There are seasons when you will find yourself in a very teeny place where you cannot shake your body. The way you have stood, that is the way you remained. Ya kwamba shida inakupata mpaka unashindwa nitaendea wapi. But that is where God wants you to start building your trust from. Praise the name of the living God. So Joseph interpreted dreams in prison and was forgotten for 2 more years. Imagine you are doing something that can please somebody so that maybe he can have favor to you, but after doing, he or she does not recognize anything, anakusahau kabisa. That is how Joseph was being treated when he was in prison. Despite of interpreting dreams, he was forgotten 2 more years in prison. Praise the name of the living God. And that is where Joseph continued to build his trust to God. Praise the name of the living God. So it would have been easy for Joseph to say that, God, I was faithful, and look where it got me. Ya kwamba Mungu, nilikuwa mwaminifu nikiwa kwa nyumba ya Potifa. Nilikuwa mwaminifu hata kwa baba yangu. Nilikuwa mwaminifu wakati ambapo watoto wetu ama ndugu zangu walinirusha kwa shimo na wakanitoa wakaniuza kwa utumwa. Nikakuwa mwaminifu wakati ambapo kiangazi kilikuwa, walikuja na nikawakaribisha na nikawapa makazi. Nilikuwa mwaminifu. Angalia sasa hizi mahali ambapo nipo. Praise the name of the living God. That is the time Joseph had an opportunity to complain to God. But trust doesn't quit when answer is delayed. You need to understand that trust doesn't quit when the answer is delayed. You need to quit. You don't need to quit trust, or maybe building trust in God because things are not working. It is not there is no any reason for you to quit building trust in God because you have been praying for a car and God have not given you. There is no any reason for you to quit building trust in God because you have been asking God to bless you with riches, and now you are facing problems in your life. You are living a miserable life, very poor life. Let that not be a ticket for you to quit building trust in God. But that is the time you need to put more effort, extra effort, building trust in God, knowing that there is one day God is going to do something wonderful in your life. God is going to answer your prayers. God is going to give you even more than what you have been asking. Praise the name of the living God. So Joseph kept serving the cupbearer and baker. He kept using his gift even with no audience. You can imagine using your gift with even no audience, no any recognition, nobody to clap at you, but you were there doing it with more effort. He knew and he understood what he was doing. And you need to understand from that point that prison is where trust gets tested, not created. You will find yourself in a problem where God will be testing your trust. You will find yourself in a situation where God will be testing your trust. You will find yourself doing something, maybe somebody doing something to you, very annoying, but you need to remember that that is where God is testing your trust. Praise the name of the living God. So if you only trust God when it is easy, ya kwamba wewe ni kumtumainia Bwana wakati mambo yamekuwa mazuri, when things are going right, when things are working, that is the only time you trust or you put your trust to God. That is convenience and not trust. You need to know that. That is not trust, but that is convenience. When you read in the book of Proverbs, let me read the book of Proverbs, chapter number 3. In the book of Proverbs, chapter number 3, the word says, starting from verse 5, that with all your heart you must trust the Lord and not your own judgment. Always let him lead you. Let him lead you, and he will clear the road for you to follow. Praise the name of the living God. That with all your heart, trust upon the Lord. With all your heart, trust upon the Lord. And not your own judgment. Other version says that with all your heart trust upon the Lord and lean not on your understanding. Because when we have our own understandings, when things start to go the way we don't expect, we already judge. We have already judged God. We don't give God his time for him to do what is right for him in our lives, but we start judging from the point or from the word go. Praise the name of the living God. So let us not lean on our own understanding as men, but let us trust upon the Lord with all our heart, so that he may be able, the way verse 6 tells us, that always let him lead you and he will clear the road for you to follow. When you trust upon the Lord, there are some things you are not going to struggle. There are some things zitakuwa zinafanyika bila ya wewe hata kujua. There are some certain things too utakuwa unashtukania zishafanyika without your knowledge, without your understanding anything, because you have built your trust in God and you have allowed God to lead you, to clear the road and lead you through it. Praise the name of the living God. And lastly, number 3, is that trust is built by seeing God's hand in the story. Trust is built by seeing God's hand in the story. Genesis 50 verse 20. Allow me to read. Genesis chapter number 50 verse 20. The word of God says, "You tried to harm me, but God made it turn out for the best, so that he could save all these people as he is now doing." Praise the name of the living God. You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good. So we need to build trust by seeing God's hand in the story. When your enemies plan evil, you need to know that God is planning something good in your life. When they plan harm in your life, God is planning to rescue. Praise the name of the living God. So Joseph was Potiphar's wife planned evil against Joseph. His brother planned evil against him, but God was preparing a very clear way for Joseph to go. Praise the name of the living God. From that point, allow me to stop from there, but the full sermon we will continue from where we have left, and for you to get notified, please subscribe, like, comment and share. Na najua ya kwamba Mungu anaenda kutubariki na anaenda kututenda mema. Mbarikiwe na mkuwe na siku ya baraka.